Welcome back to Carneades.org. Today we're going to be continuing with dumbfounding definitions, dizzying distinctions, and diabolical doctrines, a series sorting through some of the jargon of philosophy. In this video we're going to be looking at implicit versus explicit beliefs, or implicit versus explicit knowledge. So, in both philosophy and psychology, we talk about implicit and explicit mental states, but each field means something very different by these two terms. So, both philosophers and psychologists talk about mental states as either implicit or explicit, but they're definitely not talking about the same things. Generally, philosophers are discussing belief, while psychologists are more focused on memory. But often these are both expressed as implicit or explicit knowledge. In this video, we're not only going to discuss the distinctions between the two disciplines, but, of course, the original distinction between implicit and explicit. So let's take a look. First, we'll start with philosophy, talking about beliefs. So imagine that you believe there are 12 months in a year. It might seem natural to say that you also believe that there are fewer than 13 months in a year, there are fewer than 14 months in a year, and so on and so forth. However, it seems that your belief that there are 12 months in a year is importantly different from your belief that there are fewer than, let's say, 100 months in a year. While you may have consciously assented to the former, that there are 12 months in a year, you may have never brought the latter to mind. You don't have a representation of, perhaps, the belief that there are fewer than 123,456 months in a year. Yet, some would say that perhaps there's some way in which you still believe that claim. Therefore, explicit beliefs are those that we have consciously assented to or have formed a clear representation of in our minds, while implicit beliefs are those beliefs that we can conclude quickly from our explicit beliefs. From the belief that there are 12 months in a year, you could quickly conclude that there are fewer than 100 months in a year. They are beliefs that we've not consciously assented to, but in some way still have. Now, whether you think implicit beliefs actually exist is a subject for debate, but when someone's talking about explicit and implicit beliefs, this is often what they mean. Now, psychologists, on the other hand, generally are talking about memories when they talk about implicit and explicit knowledge. So, imagine you're learning to play a piece of music or drive a car. At first, you need explicitly stated instructions of how to do it. Play the first 4 measures forte. Put the clutch in before shifting gears. But after you've played the piece a few times or driven a car for a while, you might not be able to tell someone exactly what you are doing. You might not be able to say, I'm putting the clutch in and then moving the gear shift over and to the front or over and to the back. You would just know to do that. You would just remember to do it. You kind of have that almost muscle memory. Therefore, memories, which you can state exactly, now I push the clutch pedal in and move the gear shift up and to the right, or now I hold a major 6 chord for 2 beats before shifting into an augmented 4, are going to be explicit. While memories that merely expedite your ability to do something but don't provide exact instructions of what to do, knowing how to drive or play a piece of music without really being able to say exactly what you're doing moment to moment, are going to be implicit memories. There are arguments in philosophy as to whether or not implicit and explicit beliefs exist, as to how exactly we're going to construe the difference between implicit and explicit beliefs, but this is the general distinction. What we've provided here is merely a basic introduction. Stay tuned for more videos on beliefs in the future, and check out my series, The 3 Months of Modal Logics, for more information on the logic of beliefs. Watch this video and more here at Carneades.org, and stay skeptical, everybody.